Welcome to the Brant Phillips Show, the show dedicated to results. Now, here's Brant.
My friends, welcome to the show, and today we're going to talk about how your reps lead to results. How your reps lead to results. So look, I heard a story the other day about this baseball player that you've probably seen before, but you most likely don't know his name or who he really is or anything else about him. But he was a baseball player, played in the 1950s. So I'm going to get a little bit Wikipedia here on for just a minute and tell you a little about this man. So his name was George Shotgun Shuba. His nickname, which we're going to come back to, was Shotgun, of course, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So he was a baseball player and played 7 seasons for the Brooklyn Dodgers, played in a few World Series, including their championship season, 1955. First National League player hit a pinch home run in a World Series game. And so those are just a few of his stats. However, what Shuba is most remembered for was, if you remember, whenever Jackie Robinson came into the major leagues, and I believe he hit a home run in his first game. So if you remember the man who came out and shook his hand like at home plate, that was George Shuba. So he's, kind of remembered for helping, help break down some of the color barriers in baseball, and at the time, because of that photograph that was taken, and it became a very well-known photo. It was titled "A Handshake for the Century," and because it was the first interracial handshake during a professional game, and a lot of just positive energy and things like that came out of that situation. So let's get back into the purpose of this podcast. So what does any of that have to do with results? So what are we talking about here? So what I want to do is go a little bit Paul Harvey and say, now you know the rest of the story behind Shuba's career, and talk a little bit more about this man. So in the 1970s, a book was written about the Brooklyn Dodgers during the 50s, and Shuba's career was one of the chapters of the book. It was featured, and the book was called The Boys of Summer, if you want to look this up. And the author wrote something a little bit interesting about George the Shotgun Shuba. And so here's what he wrote. I'm just going to quote this. He said, "Shotgun was spraying line drives with a swing so compact that it appeared as natural as a smile." And he said that it appeared as natural as a smile. So here's what the author didn't know about George Shuba. So during the off seasons, while working a job, because pro athletes didn't make that much money back then, they barely made anything. He worked a job, full-time job, when he wasn't playing baseball. And so every single day while working this job in the off season during the winter, George Shuba would come home and practice for hours and hours and hours. So what he would do specifically every day, he had this rope tied to a ceiling with a knot at the end, about where the strike zone would be, and with a weighted bat, a 44-ounce bat, which if you've ever played baseball or swung a bat before, a 44-ounce bat is extremely heavy. So he would swing the bat 600 times a day. 600 times a day. So what he would do is whenever he would come home, he would do reps of 60. He would take 60 swings and mark down an X. So he would not lay his head down to rest, to go to sleep every day until he had taken 600 swings. So while the author said that the swing was so compact that it appeared as natural as a smile, that was really just a result of his consistent daily reps, 600 reps every single day during the off season. So there was a story told that during the interview with Roger Kahn, the author, whenever he mentioned that, Shuba laughed at him, and he laughed at the way that he described him, and he walked over to a filing cabinet there at his house, and that's where he explained to him about how we take the 60 swings, mark it with an X, and then only after he did 10 rounds of 60, 600 reps, that he would go to bed. And he did this for 15 years. So he responded something like, he's like, you call that natural? I swung a 44-ounce bat 600 times a night, 4,200 times a week, 47,200 times every single winter. There was nothing natural about that. And so, in my opinion, nothing comes easy that is really worth having. Nothing comes easy that is really worth having. Yeah, I get it. Like, some are more gifted than others. But if there isn't practice and work put in, you're not going to realize the results that you're seeking. You're just going to have wasted potential if you're one of these ones that are so-called gifted. One of my mentors who's been extremely, extremely successful in business and life for that matter, he's about 65 now, has just made millions upon millions upon millions. And there's a couple of things that always sticks out to me when we talk. One is he talks about discipline, just how success is really tied to your discipline, just to get up and do the work over and over and over again, to do those little things over and over and over again. And he talks about this really has to be a labor of love, how this really has to be ingrained inside of you to have that drive and that fortitude to just keep going each and every day. And talking to this man now, who's 65, you talk to him and he's looking for, he's still wired looking for deals. I'll say looking for deals. He's just a private lender now. And he has more money than he'll ever need, than his children will ever need for generations to come. Extremely, extremely wealthy. But it's in his DNA. This is who he is. It's how he is wired now. And another thing that he said to me one time that has always stuck with me, and it's very similar to this message, is that he was sharing this to me and a group of my students at a mastermind one time, and he was going through his history of just his business experience and kind of what he's done over the years, just kind of going through decade kind of walk through what he's done. And he said something stuck out to me, and he said, it takes 10 years just to learn how to make money. He said, it takes 10 years just to learn how to make money. And he said, at least real money. And so what he meant by that doesn't mean that, you can't go out and be profitable year one. You can. He's talking about this 600 reps a day. He's talking about what you may have heard referred to as the Michael Jordan rule, the 10,000 hour rule. And it's like, to really become great at something, to really master something and just to excel at it and exceed at it to where it becomes just natural and in your DNA, you've got to put in the reps. You've got to do the work. And so if you're one of those who are thinking that you can just, kind of get rich quick and you don't have to go through this process and do all this work, you're fooling yourself. Sure, I've seen people come into real estate or business and hit on something right away. But a lot of times they'll go through the sophomore slump because they really haven't done enough reps. Right. And then unfortunately, the sad case is a lot of people come in and they immediately flop because they haven't done the reps. So if you're committed to creating a successful life and a successful business, you've just got to put in the reps. You've got to put in the reps in your relationships. You've got to put in the reps in your health and your fitness. You've got to put in the reps with your business. You've got to put in the reps with your marketing. You've got to put in your reps with your networking, with cultivating relationships. You've got to put in your reps with your lenders to raise capital, in everything that you need to do. How to analyze deals, how to build teams, how to build systems. Everything that you're going to do that you want to create results in, you have to simply just put in the reps. Put in the reps, my friend. Just like my man, George the Shotgun Shuba, put in 600 reps a day, every single day of the off season with a weighted bat. And that, my friends, is how he got results. So I encourage each and every one of you, put in your reps every damn day, my friends. Do it. So that's all I got for today. I just want to say I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I thank you for listening to the show. And until next time, I look forward to helping you create results in your life and in your business.
You've been listening to The Brant Phillips Show. To listen to past shows, get updates on future shows, and find other resources or information about coaching, visit BrantPhillips.com.